We have two last chapters to cover in this course. One of them is chapter 12. In chapter 12, we're only going to do two sections. So we're going to look at section 12.1 and 12.2. Then in chapter 4, we're going to go back and look at correlation and regression. And so those are the last things that we're going to do for the semester. So chapter 12 discusses the idea of a chi-square distribution, and so there's two types that we're going to go through. And so the first one is going to be goodness of fit, and that is what you'll cover in section 12.1. And then the other type is going to be your test of independence or homogeneity. And so that's going to be the 12.2. They're still hypothesis tests, so you're still going to set up a null and an alternate hypothesis. You're going to test them, you're going to come up with your p-value, and then you're going to decide to reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis. And so the first one in section 12.1, I gave you a couple of examples to look at. And the main thing that I wanted to say this week is the fact that depending on which calculator you have, you're going to have to approach it two different ways. And so I've got a document that's in there. It's called the shortcut method. That's for people that have the TI-83 or the 83 plus. And so when you're going through this, what happens is we're going to, when you've got your TI-83, 83 plus, you're going to come down here and you're going to use the shortcut calculator method. And I have that typed up instructions to do that. It's also the first thing that I go through on the video that demonstrates the two ways. So the first way is doing the shortcut method, which uses lists in the TI-83, 83 plus. It's just to make your handwork easier so you don't make any mistakes when you're doing these calculations. Then what happens is if you have a TI-84 and 84 plus, they added the GOF test to that calculator, and you're able to just go straight there and get your p-value and the test statistic. So that was the thing that I mainly wanted to bring up in section 12.1. So like I said, what happens is you're going to find a test statistic, and then you're going to get your p-value, and then you're going to compare the p-value to your alpha to make that decision whether you're going to reject or fail to reject. So look through the information that I have posted. Make sure that you look at that video for the GOF test. And so it addresses both ways for both of the different calculators. The one thing that I wanted you to know also with that video is that it was built in our old edition textbook, and so it talks about problem number 16. That problem has changed to problem number 20 in our book on page 525 when you're going through that video. Then what happens in section 12.2, now we're going to be able to use the same calculator steps to do the work in 12.2. Same idea, so we're going to organize the table in something called a contingency table, or some people call it a two-way table. So the data is organized that direction. Then we're going to be able to use our calculator to do that test completely also. It's another hypothesis test. You're going to turn around and you're going to compare your p-value to your alpha, and you're going to make your decision. The thing in this section that I want to bring up is the technology step-by-step on page 542. What they do is step 1 and step 2 are fine, but then in step 3, they say that you have to calculate steps 1 to 3 to end up getting your information in matrix B. The calculator actually does that for us. So you just skip that step altogether. And so we're going to put our information into matrix A. It figures out what to put in matrix B and loads it in the calculator. So make sure that you watch that calculator video to see how that's done. And so there is, I guess you might want to call it a typo, because we don't have to enter the expected frequencies into matrix B thanks to everything that the calculator does for us these days. Then the other thing that I wanted to just show you is when you're going to that module on your in D2L, when you're here under the calculator videos, the two of them that you're going to go to is the chi-squared distribution TIH test and the chi-squared distribution GOF test. So this one, the GOF test, is the one that you want to do first, even though alphabetically it's set up this way in our D2L shell. So do the GOF test first. That goes with your section 12.1. Then look at the video for 12.2, which is the TIH test. Of course, I think it's good to look through the examples, try to do one by hand just to see how everything goes by hand, and then use your calculator to do all that tedious work for you. Okay, I hope everybody has a good week. And like I said, we only have 2 sections this week.